What is up, you guys and gals? Welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite penguin, the Penguinator, and today I am bringing you more footage of my vacation down Walt Disney World. This time it is of the safari ride in Animal Kingdom, and it is a lot of fun. A lot of the animals were really awesome to see, and they were from parts of Africa like elephants, giraffes, and so on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of the safari ride, and I will catch you next time.
Reserve a base for choosing Kilimanjaro Safari Tours for all your safari expeditions. Quick over safety reminders here. Please make sure to maintain your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. For your helmet safety, those face coverings should be above your nose and tightly wrapped around your chin. If you have any high-tech cameras, cell phones, DSLRs, GoPros on board, please make sure to hang on to those loose articles tightly. If they accidentally fall onto the road, unfortunately, I cannot stop this vehicle to retrieve it for you. You let the water know it is out there. I just can't guarantee it's going to be in the same condition that it was before you stepped onto this vehicle. And a big welcome here to the Harambe Wildlife Preserve. We've been established since 1971 in an effort to protect animals from poaching and extinction out there in the wild. Looks like through the terrain forest, your first animal sighting is going to be to the right. That is the Okapi close by. But its black and white lake markings oftentimes does confuse people to think that they're looking at the zebra or a relative of the zebra. They're actually only related to the giraffe, and that's because they share some pretty similar cranial structures. Inside of their brain, inside of their heads, they have pretty long tongues that can reach lengths of 16 to 18 inches long. So the Okapi can actually clean its own eyelids and lick its own eyeballs if they wanted to. I do apologize, some of my words are a little bit more muffled, as I do have to give a full spiel with a microphone inside of my mask, so I do apologize if there's any facts that do not come out as clear as intended. Please let me know, I can always clarify, but again, I do apologize as I have the microphone inside of my mask here. You could please make sure to have those face coverings above your nose and tightly wrapped around your chin. Looks like a couple of people should bring those face coverings above their nose for me. On the right hand side, you're going to spot the Okapi there close by. Oh, I'm sorry, that is the bongo there. The bongo is known as the ghost of the forest, seen that they reside deeper within, oftentimes hardly ever seen. Their horns do push back so that they can move fairly quickly through tall grass. And they also have the shortest legs of it, or the quickest antelope of the terrain forest. We're going to travel here towards the second half of the forest, and we'll enter through the side of the river. Now, for these parts, you can expect to find animals like Nile hippos, Nile crocodiles, pinback pelicans. Looks like there are some pretty cool pelicans waddling around here. Much like their name suggests, during breeding season, their actual backs will turn pink. Not their feathers, they aren't quite flamingos, just their backs. And down below, bottom left, you're going to spot the Nile hippos in groupings of 2 or more. They are referred to as a bloat. Their eyes, ears, and nostrils are level towards the top part of their face. That way they can still visibly see. They're able to hear, but also take a fresh breath of air without having to leave the water. Now, hippos will remain a large portion of the day in the water itself, so that way they can protect their very sensitive skin. To further enhance their abilities to protect their sensitive skin, they can actually hold their breaths about 8 minutes at a time without coming for a breath of air. Crossing over this bridge, you guys will find the Nile crocodiles down below. Nile crocodiles are the largest of the crocodilian species. They can grow to be about 16 to 20 feet in length. They can also consume animals much larger than their body size, and that's because they have pretty powerful jaws to do so, about 3,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. However, in contrast, which is exactly what it sounds like. Pretty much just a pouch towards the back of the throat for them to carry the Nile crocodile eggs. Looks like we're going to leave the forest behind us and head on towards the savannah section, which is home to some of the most iconic wildlife species. Typically, what most people think of when they think of safari tours, animals like cheetahs, lions, giraffes, zebras, elephants. Hopefully we'll get a chance to spot all those animals here today. On the right hand side, that is the baobab tree, which is also referred to as the upside down tree. It kind of looks like someone took a tree and quite literally flipped it upside down with those branches resembling roots. It's also referred to as the tree of life. I'm sure it's not the only tree of life you've seen today, and that's because it can contain water in its trunk section up to 1,000 gallons of water. It's essential for animals like the elephant if they can't find a watering hole while it's migrating. On this is to the overlook, the highest point to look out from beautiful tapestry of nature. Looks like we are going to experience a lot of sunshine to view these animals once we start taking this turn. So if you do have any shades, definitely recommend turning them on here. You should have a pretty easy view to see the first animal sighting in close proximity. That is the wildebeest. Wildebeest tend to travel in some pretty large groups that's to protect themselves from larger predators out in the wild. Out in the wild, they also sleep in rows and tends to maximize the number of wildebeest that can escape an attack if there is a larger predator in close proximity. But for wildebeest, most importantly, its loose translation from Afrikaans to English does translate from wildebeest to wild beast. And that's because they were pretty taken back with their appearance when they were first discovered. Looking here to our left, see if we can spot some animals. It's posed a little bit more of a challenge today, but we'll still stop to see if there are any animals close by. And it does help me when you guys kind of point, not continuously, but if you need to see if you spot something that I don't. When I see someone pointing, it gives you a little bit of redirection. I don't see anyone pointing, and I don't see any animals myself, so we're going to proceed moving forward. Into the corner, you guys will find the sables here. The sable antelope is pretty protective of each and every single member in its herd. From what we're observing here, they're kind of resting in a circular formation, pointed in different angles. That way we can see each and every single animal surrounding them. So the horns on top of their heads are used for protection. Very sharp and pointy there. They'll even stand and fight larger predators like the lion if they were to jump off of that. They definitely don't want to puncture and pierce into the body with that horn. So they refrain from jumping on that back hinge. Looks like there's one little guy here, bottom left. This is the springbok, but don't underestimate them. Springbok fully grown will stand at heights of 3 feet tall. They can jump 6 feet straight into the air and leap 13 feet forward. It's a pretty large leap that they make, which protects them out in the wild from larger predators. When they're happy, it's called progging, where they jump that 6-foot mark. And they tend to do it continuously throughout the reserve or out in the wild. It's a pretty cool sighting. Definitely check it out, Google it, or stream it on any video service. Very cool sight to see. A couple more wildebeest here on the right hand side. A large portion of their day is spent grazing on the lower parts of the reserve, much like the springbok, the Ankoli cattle, sable antelopes, zebras, and other animals. Elands. So the lower half of this reserve is heavily shaped by those animals. Giraffes typically shape the top portion here. We're going to stop momentarily on the right hand side to view the Ankoli cattle, which is also referred to as the Watusi cattle. And that's because they were first domesticated by the Watusi African tribe. The pretty large horns on top of their heads aren't heavy nor hollow. It's a little bit more of a honeycomb-like structure containing blood vessels that allow blood to circulate from the heart all the way towards the tip of the horn in thermoregulation. It looks like there's a pretty close tower of baby giraffes here to your right. Groupings of 2 more giraffes in general are referred to as a tower section. There's one that I want to highlight all the way towards the middle section here, closest to the palms. And that giraffe is lying down. Giraffes will actually spend the majority of their lifetime standing up. Take a seat, Polly. We'll get there eventually. I'll give you a moment to spot them, but for your safety, you must remain seated at all times. Giraffes do spend the majority of their lifetime standing up. For those reasons, when they're lying down, it's a very beautiful sight to see, and that's because giraffes actually lose that height, so they lose that skill where they can't see other predators through tall grass. But here on the reserve, there are no natural predators. There are carnivorous animals, but no natural ground predators. On the left-hand side, you'll see some more giraffes here. Like I said, they are the tallest land mammals in the world, standing at heights of 16 to 20 feet tall. They do spend about 18 to 20 hours of their day grazing. For those reasons, they only sleep about 30 minutes. Those 30 minutes might not even be continuous. Oftentimes it's referred to as micro-napping, while they take 5-minute intervals throughout the day to rest. And if you haven't done so already, there are still plenty of cool animals to spot up ahead. We're going to stop momentarily here as the truck in front of us hasn't cleared the turn. Looks like there's a pretty cool squirrel there with one of its nuts. Now take this time as well to adjust those cameras. Action or sport mode should be the best moving picture or anything with a quick shutter. I can't stop for each and every single animal, so I do depend on you guys to have your cameras out and ready at all times. On the right hand side there is the African elephant with its very large and distinctive ears. Oftentimes it's said to resemble the beautiful shape of Africa. Now they are unfortunately heavily poached out in the wilds for their white ivory, thus to be sold on the black market as a symbol of status or wealth. To your left, this is the manjo monkey, the largest monkey in general. Males typically weigh around 100 pounds, females will weigh around 50 pounds, half of that. Because they're omnivores, they can look for any seeds or fruits that they can find if you haven't spotted it already. That's right towards the middle part of the tree. Because I only saw one African elephant there, my best guess is that is a male. Females remain fairly close together in what's called a matriarch society. Which when you hear the word matriarch, think of mother, as they're strongly led by the oldest and the wisest of all the females. It's her experience dealing with the larger predators which protects the rest of the herd. She does also tend to memorize migration, sleeping patterns, and also decide when it's best to leave a resource behind. On average, adult African elephants eat 200 to 400 pounds of food. That number tends to exponentially rise the more elephants you add to that herd of females. And it does look like we're headed in the right direction. If you start looking down below, bottom left and to your right, I see a couple of tusk markings on both sides. Now the African elephant will find itself choosing to eat red clay as it contains the essential minerals and vitamins that's beneficial to its diet. Alright, if I start to slow down here, if you look diagonally out left, you should see a couple of elephants there, closest to the end of the rock wall where the eye meets. That's a pretty good description, I think. Now, I'm not sure if we'll get a chance to see those elephants, as it kind of looks like they'll be around the watering hole, past the tall elephant grass next to the Flamingo Island. Sometimes being afar does help us see animals a little bit easier, instead of being close proximity to them. We're going to proceed forward here and around the turn. Flamingos should start to appear. I would be surprised if there weren't any flamingos, and that's because flamingos aren't a migrating species. The only time they would ever leave a resource behind like this would be if the area were to become polluted. So thanks to the animal care team that comes out here, provides a consistent food source and makes sure to clean the island and makes it perfect so that flamingos never feel the need to leave these parts of the reserve. What makes them the greater flamingos is that they are the lightest in coloring and the tallest of all the flamingos. They do typically stand at heights of 5 feet tall. If you haven't noticed already, you are sitting 6 feet elevated from the ground. It looks like we have about an extra 1.5 feet in height thanks to the track here. So these are actually pretty tall flamingos. You're just seeing them from up above, looking down on them. Groupings of 2 more flamingos are referred to as a flamboyant and not a flock. On the east side of Savannah here, looks like there is one bok coming up ahead, and a couple of water bucks. Closest to us, the seven-darn horned oryx. This is the guy with the white fur coat and a brown neck. This seven-darn horned oryx is actually native to desert land. Because of that, it can reach internal body temperatures of 115 degrees Fahrenheit before it begins to sweat, which is kind of impressive if you think about anything over about 105 degrees Fahrenheit for us. Is pretty crucial and actually not the best internal body temperatures for our bodies, as it tends to shut down our internal organs. A couple of white rhinos, I'm sure you guys saw them there to the trail on the right. Hopefully we'll get to see them through the entire loop. Closest to us on the left-hand side, you will find some water bucks. They do have a large white rim closest to their rears. It kind of looks like they sat on a white painted toilet seat. It also does kind of look like they're always wet, and that's because they secrete this very oily finish from their glands. They're a pretty good indicator that there's a very large water source close by, and that's because once they find that watering hole, they'll remain fairly sedentary for the rest of their lifetime. This is the buck here down below, bottom left. There is only one of these guys here on the reserve, and unfortunately they're extinct out in the wild. They can only be found on protected reserves or in captivity. At one point there was only 17 of them left in the world. So they did one single farm and estimate their numbers from 17 to 40,000. Well, it looks like there is a perfect sighting of the cheetah here in the first quarter of the yard. Kind of looks like a yellow log with black spots. It is a little bit more of a challenge, but it's right in front of the first tree in that first quarter of the yard, resting. It does have its back turned to us then. The cheetahs are the fastest land mammals, running up to top speeds of 60 miles to 70 miles per hour. When they run or walk, they do so with their claws out as they go down. Retractable claws, but some pretty flexible spines. And a single stride hitting up to 22 feet. I'm seeing a lot of sun being projected towards the Kobe rocks here. Because of that, we might not get a chance to see lights, but if the lions feel comfortable to be out here, they may be taking a sun bath. You never really know until you complete this turn. As long as sleep 15 to 20 hours of the day, they oftentimes prefer to rest on a crevice rock section somewhere where it's significantly cooler, considering that they do have fur coats. We'll start to slow down. I haven't spotted any quite just yet. Things can always change. Alright, I don't think I'm seeing any lines here. Let's look around the corner. You guys are going to spot the warthogs here. The warthogs in the same family group as the pig, two different types of tusks. The larger ones they use to burrow. They are the largest burrowing animals in the world. The small ones they have to fend off any predators, very sharp and almost razor-like. To your right-hand side, you guys are going to spot the white rhinos in close proximity to the ostriches. White rhinos aren't very territorial. For those reasons, you will find them here closest to other animal species. Ostriches, if they have light gray feathers, they are females. If they have black feathers, they are males. You can easily identify what the gender of the ostrich is there. And those ostrich eggs there down below, one single ostrich egg is the equivalent of 2 dozen chicken eggs of full grown percent on an ostrich egg. And it would not crack, which is why the ostrich feels pretty comfortable just leaving its eggs on the reserve. Just like that. We're going to head back towards the warden's post, the last section here of the reserve. It's completely empty at this time. It's because the warden has decided to build himself a little hut. Looks like he finally completed his fence project here. He's pretty excited to welcome me back and see what new adventures await once he returns. Now, he's not done quite just yet, so he does send his apologies, but that's because he only gets a chance to work on these parts of the reserve after hours of operation have concluded for the day, as he still has to tend to the care of all these animals that the Harambe Wildlife Reserve in partnership with the Animal Science programs, and as well as operating his Kilimanjaro safari tour experiences. Right, definitely check back in the near future. I know that they're looking to welcome 2 new baby giraffe females any day now. Keep yourself posted. Stop by the booking coordinator's office to schedule your next Kilimanjaro safari tour experience. A couple of final notes here for your safari tour. The current local time in Africa is 1:56 p.m. You still have plenty of time to explore what's left in the park. Do be advised, the last safari tour experience does depart at 5 p.m. tonight. Please make sure to be in line by 5 to be guaranteed a safari tour. With 2 relaxation stations in the park, well, it's going to be over by pizza.
Alright, that is it for the video. And I want to thank you for watching. And please, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And when you subscribe, please don't forget that little bell. That way stay notified of all my future videos and live streams. And I will mostly be live streaming on Twitch if possible when I get a chance. But I do upload videos, mainly video game footage. So if you like video games, please go through and check out some of the video game footage I have uploaded from the past. I will be uploading more video game footage from Call of Duty, Fortnite, and other games, especially Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and others. So stay tuned for those, and thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and have a great and pleasant day.